Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday, Wellness Wednesday. I'm Dr. Laurie Davis, your host of the Today Show, and I'm joined today by my colleague, Dr. Kaye Sheffield. And welcome to the show again, Kaye. We love having you so much.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
You bet. And on Wednesdays, we talk about health, wellness, anything and everything that has to do with our well-being, right, Kaye?
Yes, yes.
And last week, if you were watching the show last week, we did this amazing show. I thought it was amazing. I thought I knew everything about how to travel safely, but I sure did pick up a lot of hints from you, Kaye. And so we're going to do a part two because Kaye didn't get a chance to share everything. And she had this huge big tickle trunk next to her with all these goodies in there that I would never have dreamed of packing or taking with me. And I've traveled a lot and you've traveled a lot. So we kind of know what we're doing. But if you're maybe you're thinking about taking a trip and you've never traveled before. And so this is very valuable information for you to have so that you don't get yourself into a situation and go, oh, darn, I wish I'd brought that, or I wish I'd remembered that. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And Kaye has another ton load of information and some props and some things to show you. So Kaye, just give us a little update though, the fires in California and how things are going there. Can you give us an update first?
Oh, they're pretty well contained. It's really beautiful outside. The sky is blue and the clouds have come back and the smoke is pretty much dissipated, at least from my point of view. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's great
Yeah.
to see. But there's still people that are not going back home yet, too much smoke yet in their area. So
Mm-hmm.
they're waiting until it dissipates a little bit more. But yeah,
Yes.
things are finally settling down. But we're
Yeah.
going to warm up again, so we'll see if there's
Oh,
more
yeah.
problems here soon.
Mhm. Well, we had a beautiful day here yesterday. We actually sat outside in our shirt sleeves and it was gorgeous. And we're having some really nice, we can have some nice days in September here in the great Canadian Northwest. And so we're enjoying every minute that we can plug in because I've often said if we could bottle this up and sell it in the wintertime,
Yeah.
we'd make $1 million if we could bottle this up. All right. So let's just maybe do a little summary of some of the things that we talked about last week. We talked about, not in detail, but we mentioned, having your paperwork in order. Some of those things. Would you like to just do a little review, or do you have something more and new that you want to share?
Sure, sure, and sure.
Okay.
Both of those. Um, and I have trouble remembering what we did talk about last week, but I know we did talk about making sure your paperwork is in order. And I think for me, once I get my flight for travel, once I get my flight information ready and it's secure and I know what I'm doing, I like to put it right away in a little plastic shield. And if I may start, can
Yeah.
I tell you a little bit?
Yeah.
I usually, quite often, wherever I'm going, pack a suitcase that usually gets checked in. And if I'm going for any extended period of time, sometimes if I can do a short trip, I may be able to just carry it on with me. But yeah, this trip that I just came back from to Iceland and Norway, we had to be prepared for a cruise as well as our own travel then in Norway afterwards. So I like to take a backpack.
I love that idea. I don't even own a backpack. So I
I've
think
got,
I better get myself one.
and since it was 100 and some odd here, but we were going to Iceland, I thought, oh my gosh, it may be cold. So I'll just show you this. This is a jacket that I have. It's a down jacket
Oh,
that you can pack up in a bag, and it fits really nice in your suitcase. So you can
nice.
pull it out in cold country. And my backpack, this is my backpack. And if you can see all the
Yes,
pockets that are in it, there's one
right.
in the back, this one right here in the back. that is thin, and you can put your computer in there if you want to. But I always put my flight information, and it's always in that plastic shield. So I know it's well protected and not going to get smashed down at the bottom of my suitcase or my backpack. And then this last time we were in so much rain in Norway, um, that it was just handy to have a map of where we were going and what we were doing, and where all the transport that was out there. And so I ended up putting that in a plastic shield as well. And having the hotel we were at, I thought, oh my gosh, what if I get lost and don't know where I'm going and have to get a Uber or get back to the hotel? What is the name of my hotel? And so I had the hotel right at the top,
Oh, wow.
name and their address, so that it was there. It was easy to find, and I just took this with me. So that's where I start is collecting those pieces of information. In my backpack, since I'm carrying it on the plane, I always put some things to read in there too. So I like small things that I can read, little short. This is a short little article, another short little article, and so I've got some. This is bottom line health. There's nutrition. There's some other things that I just put in there that are easy to read. I can pick those up, quickly read them before I fall asleep on the plane, or maybe there's a movie that comes on that you want to watch. So
Cool.
those are in that back little section.
Right.
But yeah, it's very important to get those papers together. I know I've kind of gotten off the topic here a little bit, but
No, not at all. I think it's a great exercise just to watch you pack that backpack. That would be, what else goes in there? What else do you do?
I'll show you if you'd like to see. But
Sure.
I think I'll too, Lori, just having your own paperwork at home done. Know that you've got things prepared, deadlines coming up. There was a couple things I needed to take care of that were going to be coming while I was gone, and the mail, I put the card in to hold my mail, but for the last 3 years they've not held it. So I have somebody coming and checking my mailbox, and there was nothing. I mean, there was just a little bit of stuff at the post office that they held. The rest of it was here, just dumped in the mailbox, and it would have been awful for 3 weeks. I don't know what they would have done. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
there
Mm-hmm.
would not have been enough room in that mailbox. So just getting all those affairs in order and making sure you've got your medical things ready. You've got your medical card. You've got emergency evacuation information if something happens,
Mm-hmm.
in your insurances.
And numbers, people to contact should anything happen to you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that passport, then, when you're traveling foreign wise, and I forgot to bring my purse in here, but I think it's really wise to think about where you're going. Where is it best to put your passport and keep it? If I'm going to some place that's easily pickpocketed, you don't want to have your passport in your little purse. I'll bring that in at break, and I can show you my purse that has a protective shield for all your credit cards and that kind of thing. But I know my mom made this little thing years ago, so that if when we were traveling, like in Africa, you want your passport on you, you want your money on you, and so she made this
Oh.
little thing for each one of us, and it has pockets in it. And you can buy some of these now, but she had two little pockets there. So I put money in that pocket, and or a passport in that pocket, and money in this pocket over here. But some way to carry it right directly on your skin, so you don't ever take it off
Mm-hmm.
for a shower. You take it off for a shower, but some way to carry that, so there's no chance of losing your passport, because that would be
Mm-hmm.
horrible in some of these
Mm-hmm.
countries that you may go to.
Yes, absolutely. Right on. That's excellent. And then, of course, we talked about having the snacks and the nutritional side of things to make sure you've got water and snacks. Would those go in your backpack?
Absolutely. So back to the backpack. Um, they've got the pocket in the back. Let's see. You can see there
Mhm.
that had the papers in it. The next pocket is for my clothing, and I'll show you some of those. The next pocket is for extras like food. I usually always carry my nuts in here. Those
Mhm.
usually can go easily in a backpack and just in a little baggie. Um, if I'm traveling, I'll make hard-boiled eggs and take them with me so that anytime you get hungry, it's already peeled, salted, and in a baggie, and you can just pull those out and eat them on a plane. And then I always take my little chewable um, supplements. These are fruit and vegetable juice plus supplements in there. Sunglasses. Always want to have your sunglasses. And then an extra pair of clothes. Sometimes I'll keep a whole pack of like a top and whatnot, but I always carry an extra pair or two of underwear, underpants.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because you want to think about, and I've had this happen where your suitcase doesn't get there. It was
Yes.
5 days later. What are you going to do for 5 days without your suitcase?
Mhm.
Do you have a comb? Which I didn't even have a comb. I didn't have a toothbrush in my backpack. But now I'm thinking, I've got to make sure those things are there.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's in that pocket along with, I have like a little flashlight, magnifying glass if I need that. And you just, oh, goodness, it's got a little light on it. But
Cool.
you always want to make sure you got a little flashlight because you never know where you're going to be and who you might be rooming with that you might not want to turn the lights on in
Mhm.
the middle of the night or whatever.
Mhm.
So that's
So
in there.
Kathy has a question for you.
Oh my
Kathy,
goodness.
yeah. She said, I use Google Maps app. Does Kay? Well, because you had your hard copy map, so maybe that inspired that question. So your Google Maps app, do you have that?
Yes, Google Maps app and um, just finding the way. Once you get there, it was so good to they've got the HOHO buses all over Iceland and Norway, and they have those in other cities, even here in the United States. Hop on, hop off was what it stands for. Hop on, hop off.
Okay.
And
Okay.
you buy a ticket for 24 hours, and you can hop on here and go there, or go all the way around the city. It just was a really neat way to go. But yes, some people in our group this time, were absolutely great with the maps and could figure out right where we were going. Um, and I pulled them out a little bit, but I thought they know what they're doing much better than I do. But yes,
Mhm.
absolutely, Google Maps are good and they're
Mhm.
very helpful.
And speaking of Google Maps, let's see your phone so
Oh,
that you can look at those apps really
okay.
well, really
Yes.
quickly.
Here's my phone is attached to this. So this is um, really been a godsend for this trip. It's attached. You can see kind of a little attachment here to my phone. There's a little uh, piece on the back that sticks onto your phone and has a tab with a ring on it that comes out of the bottom where you plug in your phone to charge it. So you attach or detach your lanyard, kind of a thing that goes around your neck. This one I got through Amazon and it's hooked on, or I can take it off and put this phone in my pocket, which I love these pants that I have on because they've got, I don't know if you can see, but they've got a pocket right here on the side that's deep enough for my phone to go into. So quite often on the plane, I'll put my phone in there. Or I like it on this lanyard. I know where it is. If I drop it, it's not going to go off the cliff or into the waterfall pool that we're looking at.
Cool.
So I am very glad that I have this. And it's adjustable. You can adjust the straps on it, so you can make them longer or shorter.
Oh, cool.
So I really, really like this.
Wow, I have never seen that. That's
I hadn't
great.
either until about 2 months before I left. I thought, oh my gosh, I gotta have that. Some gal
Yeah,
was dancing at one of her dances and she had it on while
yeah,
she was dancing. I thought, oh my gosh, that would be
yeah.
so wonderful to have.
Yeah, because how many times are you looking for your phone or if you break it while you're away or you drop it on the sidewalk or somebody steps on it or yeah, all that stuff. All right, well, we're going to take a little break so you can go get your purse.
Oh,
And
okay.
when we come back, we'll talk about that. So we're just going to take a little 30-second break here.
The day is set. Join us October 12th, 2024 at Carrigan Arms for our next fundraiser in honor of veterans, the Invictus Games in British Columbia, Canada, and TDC Employment Program enrollment. For more information, email us at info@thedisabilitychannel.ca. Introducing Veteran House Alliance International Monthly 50/50 Raffle. Purchase your ticket today, link on display, and have a chance to win cash and help a great platform supporting veterans.
Welcome back, everyone. Now you're watching the Today Show, and it's Wellness Wednesday, and we have Dr. Kaye with us today because we decided that we didn't have quite enough time last week to cover everything that we wanted to cover as it relates to staying safe and staying well while you're traveling. And especially if you're not an avid traveler or maybe a novice traveler, maybe you're just getting started traveling. But both Kay and I are pretty experienced and we've been traveling for decades. But I know there's lots of things now that we need to think of more carefully because of the world we live in. When you and I were trotting around the country in the 80s and the 90s and the 70s, it was pretty safe, but we're in a different world right now. So we need to be prepared and we need to take care of those details so that we have a safe trip that we can actually enjoy. So that's what we're talking about. And Kay, you had something you wanted to talk about as far as your purse was concerned
Yes.
and our passports.
Yes. And Lori, I'm always learning. It seems like each trip I go on, I love having a roommate and I learn things from my roommate this time. And you always have things that you forgot the other person
Yes.
has, or you can share that. And that's been so neat. But my little purse, in fact, my daughter had suggested the Bagalini brand of purses. And I just absolutely love this. Is the purse I have that I have over my shoulder. And so when I carry my purse over, and ways across your body so that you know it's safe on you. You can get some with really strong straps that can't be cut or severed because some of those little pickpocketer people just rip on by and cut it off of you and they're gone before you even know that everything you have, it's your life is in that purse. I love this one. It has a front pocket here that's and I can't remember what the names are, but RFID, where they can't photograph your credit cards and whatnot. So it's protected with that. But I love that it just opens up and it's got little extra pockets in it, things where you can put your credit cards and other things in there. And so that was very helpful. And that part is RFID safe. And it has an extra pocket here, has a teeny little pocket right here, which was great for putting your chapstick, your lipstick into, and I can just reach in there and grab my lipstick out and have it. And it's also got a little pocket on the back that you can put, like your tickets. When I got that hop on, hop off ticket, I could put that in there and know it was right there and handy for safety wise, and that's magnetized. So some little kind of purse where it's thin, it's not too big. This one's fairly big, but I put water in there. I always carry a little small container of water in the in my purse because I need it. I go and have coughing spells and just want to be sure and have some water with me.
Right.
And your sanitizer, of course, your hand sanitizer, you need to
Right.
have there. So, oh, here's my flashlight. Ah, I knew it was
Yeah.
either in the purse or in the backpack.
Right. Right. And what was the brand on that purse again? How do you spell that?
Bagolini. And here it is. This is called Bagolini. It's Baggallini. And actually, we found it on sale at Costco. So there's larger ones that you can do for carry-on. I carry my backpack. I like my backpack for carry-on, and I can put it on my suitcase holder. It slides right on with the strap that's on the back of it. So you just fit it over your suitcase right there.
Oh, wow. Right.
Little
I
thing.
hope I've spelled this correctly. Have I, Kay? You want to check the banner?
Oh, looks good. Yes.
Okay. So Bagolini. I've never heard of it. I don't know if we can get that in Canada, but I'm sure if we searched, we could find it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the idea that it's protected from photography, protected from people.
Yeah.
Because people can, you can be at a banking machine and people can take a picture of you or your card. I mean, it's just incredible the kind of scams that are out there, right?
Yes.
Hmm. All right. Well, you came up with, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was thinking, this fell out of the backpack, but I always carry in the backpack, they've got the pocket for the water. And so I put my water, I always carry an empty to the airport because you can't get through the security with anything full of water. But I always put or drink it on the way to the airport. If I'm going to the airport, it's quite often I'll just drink my water, make sure I've got the hydration going. But then I put this empty one in here in the backpack and fill it up. Often at airports, they have these beautiful purified water distributors where you can just put your cup to or your bottle to and fill it up immediately right there. So I'll go through security, fill up my water bottle, put it on my backpack, and ready to go.
Good to go.
Yeah.
So you were sharing earlier, you came up with a list of 8 things that you did a little research and you found some other information for us. So you want to share that?
Sure. This was actually, I came home after I got home and I'd gone to the doctor and was looking through Kaiser's information and thought, oh my gosh, here's preparing for a healthy trip, what to know before you travel.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
I thought, why didn't I have this before? Because it would have been very healthy. But I kind of thought, okay, I did that. Okay, we got all this. But I thought it had some of the best information in it.
Awesome.
So, yeah, you want me to share that?
Absolutely. I'm all ears. I'm going to take notes.
Okay. So it talks about what you should do. You should have your urgent and emergency care ready before you go, and all your emergency people. I let people know in my family so that if something happens, and I try and stay in touch with them the best I can, trying to figure out the Wi-Fi on the cruise, and when you have Wi-Fi and when you don't, and putting it on airplane mode on your phone. That is some of the hardest times to remember, and just to make sure you check your phone, make sure it's in the right carrying mode so you can keep your battery and your good connections. So it talked about, and Kaiser has a travel nurse. And sometimes when I've gone to other countries, like when I went to Africa, I checked with them, made sure I had everything done and prepared for, all paperwork ready, all shots that you need to have. We had to have malaria before we could go to Africa. So, you travel to some of these fun countries, but there's things you need to make sure you take all the steps and check with them. The travel nurse has been always very, very helpful. And, what else should I take? What should I be prepared for? when I went to Antarctica, what do you take for motion sickness? Because you're going to go through the Drake Passage, and it's like this through the
Mhm.
Drake Passage. So I got some little patches, which I used a little bit, and then found that they made me too sleepy. So I
Oh,
just cut it in half and gave one half to my brother, and I took the other half, and
right.
we just shared that. But it's wise to be prepared and have those things available to you.
Oh,
So, okay. So tip number 2 was refill your prescriptions early and pack in your case your to go over the counter medicines that you might want to take with you too. And I take prepared for not catching anything. I want to be immune efficient as much as I possibly can. I don't know if that's a word or not, but um, like Lori and you and I have talked about having our little Zycam. I
mhm.
always put things in little boxes, in little baggies, but the nasal swabs and
Oh,
just doing those sometimes maybe even 2 or 3 times a day as you're getting ready, leaving on the plane there, and it seems like that helped me a lot. So I have that. Um, if I get sick, I ended up getting these black seed oil capsules, and those have been very helpful to fight off the bugs that come your way. And on our this last trip, half the people were sick, so I eventually caught it, but it was not till towards the end of the trip, and then it was very light. I didn't have much of a bad bug like some of the
mhm.
people. But then when you do catch it, okay, what are you going to take then? So I take cold calm and try and get it. It's a homeopathic thing, so I try and take that as soon as I feel like, well, there's something funny in my throat. I'll try and take those, and then I've got some that once you get sick, okay, what are you going to do? You're not going to want to go around coughing and sneezing and hacking. So try and lay low as much as you can. Stay away from people. Make sure you've got your mask and whatnot. Oh, I was going to show you in my backpack too. I have in the clothing section. Well, let's see. Let's get to that. I'll get to that in a minute. But yes, get your medications. Some of them I just put in little baggies. Not if you can see this, but like you don't want to carry all those bottles with you, even though I know we should. But there's times where I like L-lysine for different things that I have problems with, and this is a Defense Plus, and I just put them in little baggies and just take a little bit. Don't need to take the whole bottle, but just so that I know. But I think you've got to have your prescriptions in their own prescription bottles.
Containers, yeah.
Yeah. So those I try and take for sure in
Mhm.
their own bottles. But yeah, as much as you can, just be prepared to travel and stay as much like you do at home. If you're taking supplements, I put my little supplements in a little baggie. So this is 1 day's supply of fruits, vegetables, berries, and omegas, and magnesium, because I get leg cramps after walking around all day. You want to have your magnesium. Make sure you don't get leg cramps at night.
Mhm.
That's
Wow.
helpful.
Cool.
So that's number 2.
All right. Number 3.
Number 3. If you're going on a big trip, it says first check with your doctor. So good idea to check with your doctor, check with the travel nurse we talked about. Make sure you're up to date on everything you need to have, and that you've checked in with him, and any lab work or any testing you need to do, any um, the prescriptions I try and get. This says 2 weeks before, and I like, I think that's a little tight. So I usually try and do it like 6 or 8 weeks out. Make sure I've got my prescriptions ready to go,
Right.
and we're
Right.
ready in the bag. So that's tip number 3. Tip number 4 on this is eating healthy into your daily itinerary, and that's really really fun to do to make sure you're eating healthy, but also testing or tasting where the foods from your place that you're going to. Uh, and they've always, no matter whether it's in the United States and you're traveling someplace and trying out, their beignets in New Orleans or whatever, the fish back east and the lobster back there, it'd be really, really good to have. But, this one was in Iceland, so lots of fish. Oh my goodness, so much good fish. And some of it I liked and some of it I didn't. But for me, it was like try a little bit each day, not just fill your plate with something new that your body is not used to and that it may have a reaction to. Well, things we're used to, the potatoes and the breads and the meats that you're used to fixed in a normal way that you're used to. Try and stick with a lot of those if you can, but also then try out the new things and see what you can find. Um, I always take charcoal with me, and they're in little capsules. They're in one of this little baggie like this. But I always carry charcoal with me for my tummy because if your tummy may not agree with some of the food you get, so pull out your charcoal and it just settles your tummy down. This time I learned something from my roommate, Diane, and she had, I said, my tummy's not feeling real good. And she said, well, I got these enzymes that are really helpful, papaya enzymes. And she gets them at a health food store and takes them with her and gave me a couple. I chewed one up and it was like, oh my goodness, it just settled my tummy right down and made sure that everything was working well. So those two were very helpful to have.
Mhm.
Just as you're trying different things, and make sure you take healthy snacks with you. Then I always try and take nuts, maybe a few crackers, that things that we know in our body and that agrees with us.
Mhm.
Maybe cheese and crackers on the plane when you're going, so that you can, it's not going to sit out too long and without refrigeration, but you've got some good protein in you. The nuts are good protein. The hard boiled eggs are good protein. Maybe a sandwich with you on the
Mhm.
plane. So that's number 4. That was taking the healthy snacks as well. I think that's really wise to do. Number 5 is be sure to drink water. So I always carry water with me wherever I am. Um, I had, it's always wise to take a little extra bag, and some of them are so wise to just wrap up in a little tiny little insert. This was my bag I took, and it's actually from Kaiser, but it was just easy to carry on day trips. I could put an extra sweater in here, put my water in here, maybe put a nutritional bar in there, or maybe even at breakfast. Some of these hotels offer breakfast. Maybe take a baggie and just, sometimes I would just take a baggie with me to breakfast, a small one, or maybe even a little larger than this size, and stick a muffin in. And then if
Mhm.
you're hungry while you're out traveling and sightseeing, you've got something to munch on. Or make a sandwich because there's bread. There's often meats and cheeses, and you can make up a sandwich and stick it in your baggie and have that for your lunch. Then you don't have to find a place to eat, sit down, pay extra for another meal.
Mhm.
Maybe just one other meal in the day.
Right.
So the water, like I say, I take my uh, water bottles. I really like taking the plastic bottles. I packed a bottle that was a thermal bottle. I don't have one here, but it was a thermal bottle that I loved at home. But I ended up carrying it and never using it because it was heavy. It was big. These little guys, you can throw them away, or if they get lost, no
Mhm.
big deal. This one was from Iceland, and it was just the perfect size. And they always have the caps on them, which drove us nuts sometimes, that don't come off. so that
Oh,
you
cool.
don't lose your caps, or they're running around on the ground someplace or whatever. But um, those were helpful and handy to have just right on your bottle. So I'm going to keep that bottle. I think that's
Yes,
wise to have.
definitely.
So, okay, so that's number 5. Tip number 6 is plan to exercise on your trip. And it says, and I don't have any problems with that because the group I go with, usually we're hiking, walking, going from bus stop to bus stop, or bus stop to the train, or um, up and down hills and that kind of thing. And I usually try to just do some stretching first thing in the morning, some some overhead stretches, some bends up with your body, maybe a couple little sit-ups, stretching my head and neck, because invariably you're on a trip and you're, oh, look this way, oh, look that way, and um, your neck gets tired and sore. So
Mhm,
sometimes in the morning I'll just do some head stretches like this, and then going around. And
mhm.
those head stretches just help for the day and make sure that that neck is working well. So this, that talks about in this article, hiking and biking, and making sure that you maybe set that up to do that on your trip, and find, maybe even find some fitness rooms, like the, if you're on a cruise or in a hotel, you can find some fitness rooms, and that can be helpful as well.
The Disability Channel would like to thank our existing sponsors. We really appreciate the support and kindness from the BIAs across the GTA, Ontario, Canada, and our friends in the USA. We love making new friends. Thank you for supporting our existing employment programs.
So and sometimes this one talked about some quick bursts of high intensity interval training. So some, maybe some jumping jacks, just to get your body moving and get all the blood flowing and whatnot, to before you even start the day.
Nice.
So, any questions?
We do have a question, but I'm going to save it until you've finished your
8.
7 things.
There's
And
8.
Okay, 8. Because Kathy had a question. So yes, we'll have a question once you're done.
Okie dokie. Um, it says number 7 was the schedule rest time.
Oh, wow, that's important.
And it is. I mean, we, on this trip to Iceland, we were 7 hours, 8 hours, and then 9 hours different than home. So you get jet lag. My sister-in-law used to always say, get out in the sun as soon as you can, wherever you are. Get out in the sun, get some of the sun from that location, and just get your body acclimated as soon as you possibly can to
Mhm.
sunrise, sunset, and go to bed. And she always recommended taking honey, getting the local honey, because it's got all the local um, bacteria fighters in it. And she said that was very helpful to her. So sometimes that's in the hotel. On the cruise ship, we had honey. Very good thing to try, and just put a little bit of that in your body to help your body get acclimated and build up immunities for the situation you're in. So that's rest time. So try and take a nap if you can. Get a nap in, or else you get on the buses for the cruise, for the little tours and excursions, and you're sound asleep.
Right, right.
But that's your nap. That's a good thing to do. Get to bed early if you can. I try to go to bed at night, and I take along. I'm just going to stick this in there as well. But at night, I like to um, just read a little bit, just kind of have some quiet time. Maybe write down in a little book what you did for the day. I'm always wanting to be thankful for the Lord, for what the day has brought, and had He's brought me through, and we haven't had any errors. I didn't get lost, and have to try and find the hotel or whatever. I also take along our daily bread. I have some Bible verses I read in there, and then I write in this. So there's little lines in the bottom, and I just sometimes I'll write down what I did for that day. and briefly, because usually at night, as soon as I start to read, I'm asleep. So I try and just write some brief little notes so I'll remember, and when I get home, I can write that down a little bit better.
Right. Excellent.
And so number 8 on our little list from Kaiser is to pack sunscreen no matter what the season. And it talks about having putting your sunscreen on your arms and anything that's exposed, even if it's cloudy or overcast, we can get a sunburn. So pack your sunscreen and make sure it's an SPF of 30. It says on this list. I always pack. Let's see. Let me show you a couple of things I always pack. I carry this hat with me. It's got a strap on it so that if it's windy, I can tighten that up. Or if I'm on a boat, this little hat I've sprayed with waterproofing. It was so wet in Iceland that we needed to have clothes that could push off the water and keep us protected. But this little hat, I even wore at one point. I had a little beanie that kept my ears warm, and then put this over because it would help to keep the rain off. So that was very helpful to have. And I had, and I think it's really, really wise to put in your backpack there's a poncho. Actually, the ship we were on, the Viking ship, gave us these poncho things that you could put on, but they were not so good. I found at the store some of these rain ponchos, and this saved me when we were in South America. We were on a bus getting ready to get off with our backpacks on, and it just poured. And I had this in my backpack, pulled it out, covered up my backpack, my head, and it saved me. It's kind of a one-time use thing because it's hard to use. So I've got 2 or 3 of these that I will stick in my suitcase and just have them available. But very nice to have. I have rain pants. These are pants that I sprayed the water protection on, but they were also water protective. So they've got pockets on them. They actually unzip so you can take off the bottom section of them.
Right.
In the hot weather, and yet in cold weather, or if you're a place out in like a jungle or where there's plants or possible critters, you can have the longer pants on, and they tighten up at the bottom. They tighten up, they unzip as well. You can see the zipper there.
Nice.
So those are helpful to have.
Absolutely.
As well as your raincoat. And I've got my rain jacket behind me here with a hood. And I always carry that on the plane because you never know what your weather's going to be like when you land someplace. Right. So I always have something that's waterproof that can cover up at least me and fight the wind.
Cool. Well, Kathy has a question. Now, this will be very interesting for you. I'll put it up on the board here. Kathy says, would you use activated charcoal instead of Pepto-Bismol? Can you talk about that? Okay.
I like activated charcoal just because it's natural and it's what our body uses to settle and to take care of anything that's unusual in our stomach that's reacting. I used to carry Pepto-Bismol. I haven't carried it for years. I carry charcoal, the activated charcoal. And I don't think I put it out here, but it's just in a little small bottle. Similar to this one.
So with the Pepto-Bismol, that's over-the-counter stuff that you buy for your stomach, it would have chemicals in it, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's liquid, so you couldn't pack that as well going through security. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Activated charcoal, they're little capsules, so I just put them in one of my pockets in my backpack, and and even if you get something on the plane that is not settling well with your stomach, you can just plop those in and have them, or the enzymes.
Do you get those at a health food store, Kay?
Mhm.
And it's called activated charcoal.
Activated charcoal. And it's at
Yeah.
drugstores as well.
Mhm.
If I know.
And I know that I know this just because Kathy has shared this, but she caregives to her mom and her dad, and I think mom is the one. Am I correct, Kathy, with the stomach issue sometimes? So for a senior, that would probably be even better.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Those papaya, what I learned from my roommate with the papaya enzymes
Hmm.
uh, were so good, and they're good for your body as well.
Yeah.
I don't have any yet. She gave me some samples, and I still have one to chew. But you just chew them up, and again, they're at a health food store.
Hmm.
I don't know if you could order them like through Amazon or not, but um, let me show you what else I put in my backpack too that I thought was very helpful. So I had the food section. This section was the food section, and the snack section, and the sunglasses section, and then this section is bigger. So that's where I put in my jacket. I may carry an extra sweater because you never know how cold it's going to be on those cotton picking plains, and if you're
Right.
going to get a blanket or not. I carry a scarf. This is one of those that's from Pakistan, India area, and it's not cashmere, but Kashmir. I can't remember how you say the name, but it's a long, big scarf that has you can cover it with cover your body like a blanket, or
Oh, wow.
so I love having that in there. I always carry my little small umbrella. You never know.
It's like this thing is a bottomless pit. There's no end to what you can put in there.
Yes, and your baggies, because you never know if you're going to have something wet or some
Yeah.
food you want to take or whatever with you. And then this is my um, really need on the plane items, and I'll
Emergency
try
kit.
them out. Yeah,
Emergency kit.
kind of emergency. Well, it's just the living on the plane, and you never know. I don't like to wear masks very often, but like as I came back from Norway, I was sitting next to a guy for the whole 11 hours that was coughing. So I put my mask on. I don't want to catch whatever he's got. I have put in here also some earplugs
Hmm.
just in case. I have a face mask just in case. I don't always wear those. And I have a blow up. This is my blow up neck pillow. And I
Oh,
absolutely love this. It blows up,
I love it.
and it can, you just put it around, and I'll put it this way. Sometimes I'll put it this way because it holds my head better as I'm falling asleep. It's holding that better. But then you don't have that big pillow neck
Yes, that's what I have, one of
thing.
those. And I've lost about 10 of them.
Uh, yeah, I would be losing it too because I don't like those. They're hard to pack. They take up room. I love
Yeah,
this because it's blow up, and it's
right on.
easily blown up and easily reduced
Mhm.
back down again. So I love that part of it. So,
Beautiful.
let's see, Kathy, did you have something else that you were saying for her
Uh,
mom? Maybe.
yeah, she said she was going to try that activated charcoal.
Okay.
Give that a try instead of the Pepto-Bismol. Yeah,
Yeah, I would do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Uh,
There's always alternatives, right? But we've
yeah.
been conditioned to go to the drugstore and go to the pharmacy and buy, the over-the-counter stuff that we think is going to help. But the problem with most of that stuff is it's full of chemicals, and our body definitely isn't used to that. Or it may
Yes.
be used to them, but it's not good for us, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
just adding more damage to the liver as they try to process that stuff. As your
Yes.
liver tries to process everything, right? So, well, do you think we've covered our goal has been achieved for travel in our 2 episodes, Kay?
Oh, yeah, but let me see what else I can show you a couple more things that are
Okay, we've got
very
about 5 minutes. Yeah.
in my little trunk here.
Yeah, your
Um,
tickle trunk. That's amazing. And you're going to speak later today. Why don't you share
I-
with our audience what you're going to our GSFE meeting, our Global Society of Female Entrepreneurs, Coachella Valley. And over to you. What are you speaking about today?
Travel. Can you
There
imagine?
we go. I love it. You'll be all practiced up,
Yes.
right?
So we'd planned on this before I even took this trip, and I've changed the title a little bit to Tips and Trials of Travel. So that's
Okay.
the title of my talk today with them, and it'll be sharing some of this
You'll
same.
only have 30 minutes there, so you'll have to
Yeah.
talk fast. Listen, Kathy has one more question. I'd like to address
Okay.
that.
And then
You
I've
know,
got some more things.
yeah. Would activated charcoal stop the runs, diarrhea?
It's going to help settle your stomach.
Okay.
So maybe,
Yeah.
maybe give it a try.
Prevent that. Prevent
Yeah.
that.
And
Because we
then,
have diarrhea when the stomach's upset. And
yeah.
mhm.
And uh, I think Diane's idea of using the papaya enzymes, I think those are really, using natural stuff as much as you can. Um, I think is very helpful.
Okay.
All you can do is try and see. For each person is going to be different anyway.
Mhm. Mhm.
So just give it a try. So
Okay.
a
So
couple
what
more,
else we
couple
do
more.
there, Kay?
Okay,
Couple
so
more things.
I'm a baggy girl.
Well, you must have shares in that bag company.
I think I must have because by the
Or
time I
you,
get
if you
home,
don't, you should, right?
so this is my eye bags. So I've got eyes things,
Oh,
my contacts, my glasses cleaner, are all in this one little bag. I've got one for my hair that has
oh,
small little
cool.
shampoo, my hairbrush, my mirror, it's all in that bag that's labeled
I
hair.
love it.
And I've got one for face. So I've got all that kind of uh, things in there. And then I take along, a friend gave me this last Christmas, and I pull it out, and it says "Hello, gorgeous" on it. And it's
Oh,
just like, okay, I can get gorgeous in the morning and just be as best as I can. But it's also helpful just to put in, you know, my cleaners or my makeup. I just do a little bit of
yeah.
eye makeup, so I got that in there as well. Always carry slippers wherever you are. I don't want to step on the floor at
No,
hotels, and I don't want to wear my socks on their floor. So I
no.
always carry my slippers, put them back to back, and stick them in a baggie and do that. Oh, this is um, a bag for if you're going to be in the water, anywhere in the water. This holds your phone, so you can take your pictures still. You just lift it up, take your pictures with this through the
Oh,
plastic.
cool.
But it's been really helpful on boats. If you're out on a motorboat, and we were on one going to see some of the waterfalls in Norway. Let's see what else.
We'll have to share that with Sylvia Somerville, who lives in Niagara Falls.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think one of the last things is um, when I pack, sometimes I'll pack like the pants and the tops together, so the colors are coordinated, and maybe pick just 2 or 3 colors that you're going to pack on your trip, and then you can interchange all of that.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, my daughter loves to roll up her clothes like this. I'm okay with some of that. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I want to see what is that. I can't figure out what it is, so I'll lay them flat and pack them that way. My roommate, I learned another thing from my roommate this time was Diane had packed her clothing in a vacuum seal bag. So you pull out the air and it smashes down your clothes. They may get wrinkled a little bit, but you've also can pack more in your suitcase.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And those, if I don't have any here with me, but if you roll them up real, I think some of them you can roll them up really tight, and the vacuum seal holes.
Oh,
But
cool.
they're for clothing in your suitcase. So
Right on.
I don't know.
Okay.
I think I've talked a lot. So
Well, you had a lot to share, and when we found out, when you mentioned last week, wow, I have so much more. I thought, well, why don't we just do a part 2 and just have you come back and share that because I learned so much. I've been taking notes.
Oh,
And I've got to go to the health food store and I've got to get that charcoal because I occasionally have stomach issues, even when I'm not traveling. If we happen to have a rich meal of some sort, or I haven't paid attention to how much dairy is getting in there. So that's all very helpful as well.
Yeah.
So that's our show for today, full of content, full of beautiful information, a beautiful person. And Kaye, thank you so much and good luck with your speech. And by the way, on Friday, just for your information and a heads up to everybody else, I didn't include you this time, but I will another. I have a panel of women coming from GSFE on Friday, and that's going to be our Friday show. We're going to promote GSFE, and Dr. Robbie's going to be there, and Angeline, and some of the former founders, people who got it off the ground. So we're going to do a show on Friday just about GSFE. So yeah, I think it's a lot of fun. All right. And tomorrow, of course, we have the beautiful Jill Younghusband coming on board with a veteran friend who's going to talk to us. And Thursdays are always very fascinating and interesting. And I don't know about UK, but I love our shows. Maybe I'm a little partial. Maybe nobody else likes them, but I know that we give out really great information. And that is what is most important to me. So thank you for helping to make that happen. And you have a safe day, a great day, and you're all good to go. I had to get up early this morning because I had a class before the show. And I have a men's group that I'm running. And I told the guys, I said, you know what I realized today? Makeup doesn't stick as well at 6 a.m. as it does at 8 a.m. So just saying. All right. Anything else, Kaye, you want to say before we go? The words of encouragement, how encouraging people to travel and get out there.
Oh, happy travels. And just, one of our sayings for GSFE is show up. And I was having trouble trying to get out on this trip, and I just thought, oh, just do it, just go. And it was such a neat feeling to go and learn about another culture.
Yeah.
And it's so much fun to just learn about other people.
Well, our guest, Kathy Bell, she is queen of show up. I don't think she's missed maybe 2-3 shows. That's it since we got started. So thank you, Kathy, for always being here and posing always very good questions. Okay, so have a great rest of the day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same station. Bye for now.
Bye.
Politics get in the way. Freedom is the price I pay. I'll be long gone. On a distant mountain top, neither side is willing to stop. I'll be long gone. Held hostage to wishful thinking, mama, yeah. Bullets travel in a straight line. Nothing can change this heart of mine. Don't think I'll survive beneath the velvet sky. Ooh. Know that I'm out here for a reason, yeah. the barren plain. Time to move on. Outside of the line, I swear, road used to be right there. Now it's all gone. All gone. Still held hostage, wishful thinking, mama, yeah. No life travels in a straight line. Nothing can change this heart of mine. Don't think I'll survive beneath the velvet sky. Ooh. Know that I'm out here for a reason, yeah. Hard to understand just why. Just why. That's why.